Hello, everyone, and welcome to the analysis of the Ramayana characters. Today, we will be taking an eighth look into the character of Rama. Let us begin. One day, one of Rama's counselors, called Varada, reported that his subjects gossiped ill naturedly about Sita's stay at Lanka. Rama upheld a high standard of morality. He would not tolerate any finger pointing at him or his family. Besides, he knew that a king's dharma is to set a good example for everyone else to follow. He reluctantly came to the decision that it was better for Ayodhya if Sita left. So he ordered his brother Lakshmana to take Sita to the forest and leave her at sage Valmiki's ashram. Lakshmana sadly obeyed the king's orders. The unhappy queen was forced to accept the shelter offered by sage Valmiki. Back in Ayodhya, Rama resigned himself to a lonely life. His duty as a king came first. Though he lived in the palace, he had a simple way of life, as though he was living in a hermitage. Lava and Kusha. In Valmiki's hermitage, Sita gave birth to Rama's twin sons, to whom Valmiki gave the names of Lava and Kusha. As they grew up, the sage taught the princes about the Ramayana, a poem he had composed about the world's most perfect man, Rama. But little did the boys know that Rama was their father. Back in Ayodhya, King Rama held a horse sacrifice to strengthen his position as emperor. The sage bade Lakshmana and bade Lava and Kusha to sing the Ramayana at the sacrifice. They did this with such skill that everyone in Ayodhya, including King Rama, was impressed. He sent for them, and when they revealed their identity, he was filled with remorse at the thought of Sita. Rama relented and sent for his queen. Before being accepted, Sita was once again asked to prove her purity and innocence. Sita understood her husband's noble intention. He was a king and she was his queen. They had to be beyond reproach. She calmly went back to Ayodhya with sage Valmiki. In front of everyone, she prayed, "Mother Earth, you are my mother. Please help me." The land where she stood opened up, and Sita went away. Thus, Sita, who was the daughter of Mother Earth, went back to her abode. Rama resigned himself again to a life without her. Nothing would bring her back. Rama's anguish knew no bounds. Nobody could measure the depth of his sorrow. Rama continued to do his duty as a king. One day, Yama, the god of death, came down from heaven to summon Rama, as it was time for him to end his stay on earth. He came in the disguise of a sannyasi, as he wanted his discussion with Rama to be confidential. He asked that a reliable sentry be posted at the door. Who else could be more reliable than Lakshmana? Rama asked him to stand guard and warned him, "If you come in and overhear anything at all, the price to pay will be death." Lakshmana agreed, but Lakshmana was forced to let in sage Durvasa and thereby disobey Rama. Rama first attended to his visitors and then turned sadly towards Lakshmana. "Brother, I failed to keep my word," cried Lakshmana. "I'm ready to face the consequences, be it death." As always, in moments like this, the wise sage Vasishta intervened. He advised Rama that Lakshmana had to pay the penalty. Banishment was equivalent to death, and Rama could choose between the two. Rama chose the former, and thus Lakshmana was banished from Ayodhya. Being away from Rama was like death itself for Lakshmana. He went to the Sarayu river and gave up his life. After Lakshmana's banishment, life became unbearable for Rama. It was almost like his own life had left him. He entrusted his kingdom to his sons, Lava and Kusha. Then, accompanied by his remaining brothers, Bharata and Shatrughna, he went to the banks of the Sarayu river. After offering prayers to the gods, he and his brothers resigned their bodies to the waves of the Sarayu. Lord Vishnu thus completed his human incarnation as Rama, the noble and perfect soul. As Rama's grieving subjects stood near and mourned for their dead king, they saw a celestial car descend from the heavens and carry away the spirits of the dead heroes to Vaikunta, Lord Vishnu's abode. That is the end of this recording. Thank you all for listening. Jai Shri Narayana.